See, I know there's a lot going on in the world, and we gonna cover that. But I want to mix it up every now and then and still put some content out that's like that matters to the individual because a lot of stuff in the world gonna happen regardless. And I don't think that the sheep will gonna actually wake up to come together to do nothing about it. But I haven't gave up on them, right? But the thing is this: a lot of people still just trying to get by day to day. And a lot of us woke people, right? We ain't the richest people in the world. You know, most of us is paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many grifters and scammers out there that's trying to bring the universe into your financial situation. Even in the church, you got your prosperity teachers like Creflo Dollar and all them. They like to bring God into the equation. And when they do that, they have to say, well, God made you broke for this reason. And God made me rich for this reason. They have to have a doctrine. Once they bring God into the financial aspect of our lives, they now have to have a doctrine of why God chooses bad people to be rich, but good people to be broke. And if you believe that God is involved in our financial lives, then you would fall for such a grift, for such a scam. Because when a person lie to you like God dictates who get rich and who don't, when a person lie to you like the universe is dictating who's rich and who's poor in this world, when a person lie like that, they then have to give these crazy doctrines and stuff on why the universe chooses certain people over others. Because when you look around the world, you see a lot of beautiful, righteous people suffering, especially in Africa and a lot of these third world countries, you know. And I know Africa is a beautiful continent. The reason we bring it up is because it is the most colonized place on the earth, and it's the most robbed place. I'm a proud American. I'm a Aboriginal, indigenous American, foundational Black American. But I do think that there's a lot of evidence to support that most of the colonizers' evil was perpetuated on that land that we call Africa. Now, I won't call it the motherland because this is my motherland, but I will admit that because Africa is so rich in resources, it is a field day for colonizers all around. And the only reason I want to bring Africa up is because you got a lot of beautiful tribes, indigenous people to that land suffering, even the kids suffering. You can see the rib cage showing. And so I say, why is this stuff a scam and a grift? Because only in America with Black people can you sell this grift to. And what is the grift? That the universe is restricting your money. God keeping you broke. Now, when someone say the universe is restricting your money, that's them basically flipping the prosperity doctrine and bringing that into the conscious community. Okay? It's making God or the universe intervene in our financial lives. And I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. One thing that the devil created that he can interact with God's children with, but God ain't in the equation, that is the system of capitalism and money. Let me explain something to y'all about money and capitalism. These are tools that the enemy made to isolate God's children from God. What do you mean, Sanchez? There is nothing else on earth. Just think about what I'm about to say, because you finna have an aha moment. Listen to this. There is nothing else on earth that the people in power can interact with us with, and the creator or the universe isn't involved with it too. So let's just talk about food, right? We all eat food. The enemies of God and God's children eat the same food on this earth. If we all was bartering and trading with food every day instead of money, it'll work out on the children of God's behalf. We would be the richest. It's because we're more connected to the earth, the plants and all that, and the seeds of the field, right? So anything that is it where the universe is involved with that thing, the children of the universe gonna thrive in it. Because even though you got these wicked ones dwelling among us on the earth, they gotta interact with the same natural resources that we gotta interact with. Water, they are bound by the elements just like us. You know, a tornado will wipe them out too. So there are certain things that works in our favor because the universe is involved with those things, and we are children of the universe. That's right. What the enemy had to do, what the people had to do who's waging war against the universe, they had to create a system and a item. They had to create some type of object and some type of system where they can interact with the children of the universe or the children of God without God having no part in it. It's like saying that some predator can talk to your little children in private. And now that predator can convince your children to do some stuff, and you ain't there to oversee it. What am I saying? Capitalism and money are the tools that the enemy created to isolate and to do business with the children of God, and God can't even do nothing about it. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but these witches literally created a system that if you engage with them in that system, God can't really do nothing. God is excluded from this system. It's literally a man-made system of capitalism with man-made instruments like money, debt, trust funds, bonds. All of this shit is direct attacks on the children of God. All of these things are the direct tools that the devil made to take the power from the children of the universe. Once you engage in his system with these tools, unfortunately, there's nothing the universe can do for you. It's nothing. They've isolated you from your protector, from your covering. Now, what do I mean by engaging in this system? What I mean is by becoming a woke consumer. A lot of y'all came into this community because you were seeking knowledge. And somewhere along the way, someone resold you the idea of seeking money. Who did that to you? Shame on them. Because guess who did it to the black church? The prosperity ministry. Guess who did it to the woke or the conscious community? The manifest guys, the manifestation guys. See, because they're not making you a god, they're making you a consumer. One of the most famous ones, his name is Nero Knowledge. Here's a post he put out. He said, basically, if you hate to pay your bills, the universe will restrict your money. And that's why I chose the title that I chose today. Woke but broke. The universe is restricting your money. Guess what, yo? The universe can't keep money from coming to you because the universe don't got shit to do with money. Man outsmarted the universe. You know, Nero said outsmart reality, right? Shout out to Rogue Knowledge. tuition. We need this. I'm finna give you some real science today. You can't blame your financial situation on the universe restricting your money. Now, I'm not gonna just say Nero is wrong. I wanna be fair, and I don't wanna make this like some messy stuff. So what I will say, just to be fair to Nero, because I said to myself, instead of me doing a stream attacking this line, let me do something a bit different with Nero and let me see how can this line actually make sense. I want to do something different, because instead of saying this is a stupid line and this don't make no sense like I did in my last stream, I'm opening up my mind, and I thought about this for a minute before I went live. And I said, how can I make Nero's statement true? Instead of me trying to debunk it, I'm finna flip the whole script. And so I can have a teaching moment to show you how if the universe was gonna restrict your money, how the universe would do it. Before I get into that, I want to play a clip from an old video that I made where I was venting, and I never uploaded this video. I never uploaded it. Y'all about to hear it from the first time. And just to show you that I'm not lying, I'm giving you an exclusive here today. Watch this. What this say? Here's why New Age prosperity gospels will cause you to reincarnate. This is on private. I put this up 4 months ago, and I never made it public. But today, I'm going to let y'all hear it. Let's go. For years, black people have made up the bulk of what we call the church. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This going to sound real shallow. You want to know why I didn't make this video public? Because the camera got me looking blurry and bummy. You know, when you grow your beard out, it make your lips look dry. And it's just something about this camera angle and the beard that got a nigga lips looking like Pookie from New Jack City. Let me give a shout out to Isaac Frimpong, man. Appreciate the love. Let me go and play this, though, and we ain't gonna worry about all that. We gonna just give the people the knowledge here. Here we go, y'all. For years, black people have made up the bulk of what we call the church. And for years, traditionally, black people didn't have a prosperity doctrine. We had the kind of doctrine that promised us riches in heaven. So for a long time, I remember even when I was a young boy coming up in the church, you didn't hear a lot of prosperity gospel preaching. You heard a lot of, you're gonna suffer in Christ, you're gonna go through what you're gonna go through in life, and then that will be your reward to make it into heaven. A lot of pastors in my time, they was teaching about those that suffer with Christ, those that suffer in Christ. And they was really zooming in on the fact that Jesus wasn't a rich man. Jesus was a very basic man. In fact, the kind of man that Jesus was, we would walk by Jesus and overlook Jesus in our society today. If Jesus were to come to the earth right now, exactly how he was according to the Bible, no one would care. He would be a regular dude we would ignore and walk past. It just wasn't flashy. There was nothing fancy about Jesus other than his desire to help people. He didn't care about being rich or none of that. There was nothing about Jesus that screamed to me prosperity gospel. But the prosperity gospel took off for the simple fact that black people start getting into economics. And once we started getting into economics, first of all, mind you, The reason there was this big surge of black people getting into economics and becoming financially literal, it's because with the traditional Christian mindset, it is hard to make them a consumer. So there was an effort in the world to get black people to this other stage of consumerism that the corporations just had to get us to manifest their end goal as far as the New World Order agenda. We all have to be on a certain level of thinking and a certain place in our paradigm. A consumer is a very predictable person, and they want us all to be consumers so that we can hand over all our power back to them. Most of the time when a person's saying they want to prosper, and when they talking prosperity, they're talking about gold, jewelry, stuff like that, cars, houses. They're talking about worldly, secular things. And ain't nothing wrong with all that. But something wrong if you make that your daily motivation versus just doing good in the world, being a good person. We went from striving to be masters of the self to striving to be masters of capitalism, only to realize we can't beat the devil at his own game. What we see today is the prosperity gospel merging with the Hotep community, the so-called woke conscious community, right? Because the prosperity gospel is something that is predominantly in the black church. And again, it started because black people said, listen, we tired of waiting to go to heaven to ball out. We want our heaven on earth and in heaven. Now, that may sound kind of contradictory. If people are saying, what would Jesus do? That was a whole moment called the WWJD movement. Who remember that? What would Jesus do? There were wristbands and all of that. And someone destroyed that movement because if people were asking the question, what would Jesus do today? He wouldn't do none of the stuff that the church is doing right now. The prosperity gospel was initiated by people like Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen. We know the big names, right? But these people, in my opinion, they were agents that were planted because the traditional black church member is a God-loving, very humble person. They're not trying to be flashy. The church that we see today, with everybody showing up like it's a fashion show and all that stuff, is a result of the prosperity gospel that infiltrated the black church. I know this because I'm from the Bible Belt. The prosperity gospel isn't traditional. It isn't old. It's a new gospel that's a result of the New World Order, right? Because the New World Order agenda to manifest this Internet of Things, to get the whole world transhumanized and chipped up, you need a new mentality in your church members, because the traditional church mind is going to push back on everything New World Order. But this new Christian, this prosperity seeking Christian, is way more compromising than the traditional Christians like my grandmother and how I grew up. They were more anti-establishment. If you notice, the church is becoming more pro-establishment, and this is all part of the New World Order agenda. And this was also prophesied that this would happen in the Bible. It was called a great apostasy. This video ain't necessarily about the church. I'm laying the foundation of the main point that I want to give to you guys, which is that the prosperity gospel isn't exclusive to the black church. It also has infiltrated the Hotep movement and the conscious movement. Now, how, Sanchez? How did it do that? How do I identify this trick of the devil? Well, think about this. The prosperity preachers teach Christians that the reason they don't have a lot of money is because they have the wrong mindset. If you listen to these prosperity preachers, they will tell their congregation the reason you don't have the money is because you ain't doing something right with God. Your mind isn't in the right place with the Creator. Your heart ain't right. And what this does, it makes it as if God is blessing some people and not others. And for so long, you may beat yourself up and wonder, why don't God like me? God blessing all these other people, but God ain't blessing me. And you telling yourself, I pray every day, I fast all the time, and I'm seeing people get blessings who are pieces of crap. Evil people, people who I know are cheaters and liars, they're getting blessed, but not the righteous ones. Some you got to think about. The Bible says that the devil is the Lord of this world, and the devil is the ruler of money, wealth, and finances. These monetary blessings are not coming from the righteous God. So you shouldn't feel any kind of way when you see people taking off around you and you in the same place. It's because you told the universe that you want to go to heaven. You told the universe that you want to ascend to the higher realms, and the universe gonna give you what you want. The moment you told the universe that earth is not your home and you want to go to heaven, the universe made up its mind you ain't gonna be rich. Because what riches will do, if you had billions of dollars, you would not want to part with it. That money will become an anchor for your soul. That's why Jesus wasn't rich. We all remember the scripture about the camel going through the eye of a needle before a rich man entering heaven. There's a lot of truth to that. The rich people in the world are the ones that are going so hard to cheat death. Salutes, y'all. And I'm going to play this some more, but that's the part I wanted y'all to hear. How if I say, okay, how can this be true? Why would the universe even be involved with keeping somebody broke, right? And see, Nero would have you think it's because you're not thinking like rich people. You need the mind of the rich. And the universe will start making it rain on you, basically, in a nutshell. And I'm saying that's the part I disagree with. I don't think that the universe keeping you from getting money because you don't think like evil people. I think if the universe was involved, then the reason it would keep you from getting money is because you told it you wanted to be free. You told the universe, earth ain't my home. I want to go to heaven. And so at that moment, the universe started giving you a life that would lead you up out of the earth. And the lap of luxury would be the opposite of that. So now I'm trying to look at what Nero's saying, and the only way I can make it make sense is what I just said right there. That's right! Because I don't think that the universe is making kids in Africa starve because they don't have the mind of Donald Trump, which is an evil mind, right? I believe that if the universe was making those kids starve, it's because it has some greater for them that's beyond this whole reality itself. And so where we may think we're losing out on something, the universe is literally giving us the greatest gift, which is access to the higher realms. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at this and say, well, now that'll make sense right there if it was interpreted that way. You know what I'm saying? If the prosperity preachers, like if Creflo Dollar came and said, you know what, brothers and sisters, God ain't keeping you broke because you ain't tithing enough, because you don't love to pay your bills, like what Nero's saying, right? They saying The universe restricting your money because you don't like to pay bills. That's what Nero said. Creflo said God restricting your blessings because you don't like to pay tithes. I'm disagreeing with Nero and Creflo Dollar, and I'm saying if the universe was restricting the righteous people's money, it'll be because it's trying to get us up out of hell. That's right. It'll be because we know a lot of people that ain't attached to a lot of wealth, who come from what we call the struggle. We know about the simple, small things in life that really matter, right? And the thing about people, children of the light, the chosen ones, right? We don't have a natural born attachment to this earth. That's right! And we never did. Our ancestors didn't. So that's why we were never colonizers. The people with a natural born attachment to this material world, they were fucking bent on controlling it, controlling everybody. Like, these people are so attached to this world. They wake up every day to maintain control over it and have ownership of it. And there is a deity that they spoke of in the Bible who had that energy. His name was Satan. He was attached to the earthly kingdom. It was his abode where he can basically create his own system and own laws outside of God's laws. And guess what that system was? Capitalism. Capitalism. That is the satanic system that's spreading around the whole world. That is the driving force of the New World Order. It is a class system that separates people according to who's more loyal to the devil and who's not. What I'm telling y'all is the truth about the world. If you really want to know how some people get to the very top of certain places in society, I'm going to tell you an old statement we knew coming up. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. America was founded by Freemasons, secret societies, and those same entities still monopolize the power in this country and distribute the wealth and power to whom they deem fit. No one is going to be a billionaire in this system and be anti this system. Don't be so naive, man. Don't be so naive. Because when you think that a person can be operating on these powerful levels in this system and they're not compromised, they're really for the people, that's how you get movements like MAGA. That's right! That's how you get movements like MAGA. Don't be like the MAGA maniacs. Don't be naive. Don't think that the rich and powerful people on the world stage and in the system, right, are anti-system and they're for the people. Don't do that. To push against the Bible. To do away with being good so I can go to heaven. A rich person don't want to leave the earth. If you had billions of dollars, would you want to end your life and start all over again with nothing? Thank you. If you got billions of dollars, you're looking for a way to cheat death. You're thinking to yourself, well, I got coffee right now, but
if life after death means reincarnation and a whole nother earth, a whole nother parallel reality where I got to start all over again, that is a rich man's worst nightmare. That's his worst thought to have. It is a nightmare for a rich man to think about, one day I gotta die. Because in his mind, he's saying, I'm gonna have to start all over. When you tell the universe what you want and you put that desire in your heart, the universe will start to send all of the things your way to help manifest that. So if you told the universe that you want to go to heaven, Don't be surprised if the universe ain't showering you with luxury and cars and mansions, because the universe know what you want. You want to ascend. And to ascend, you got to be light. You told the universe that you want to ascend to the higher realms, and the universe gonna give you what you want. The moment you told the universe that earth is not your home and you want to go to heaven, the universe made up its mind you ain't gonna be rich. Because what riches will do, if you had billions of dollars, you would not want to part with it. That money will become an anchor for your soul. That's why Jesus wasn't rich. We all remember the scripture about the camel going through the eye of a needle before a rich man entering heaven. There's a lot of truth to that. The rich people in the world are the ones that are going so hard to cheat death, to push against the Bible, to do away with being good so I can go to heaven. A rich person don't want to leave the earth.
This what y'all gotta realize, right? This what y'all gotta realize, that the pharaohs in Egypt, when we talk about rich versus poor, right? Oh, hold on a second. Rich versus poor, right? The pharaohs in Egypt were the first, what we would call wealthy or rich people in the world. These were the world's very first dynasties. And the word dynasty is just a word that means royal family. Now, today we say we know about the royal families, but back in the day, you called them the dynasties. Now, these original dynasties that rose to power on earth, this is what's significant about those original dynasties that rose to power. When the first dynasties of Egypt rose to power, they created money, taxation, class systems, and the capitalistic system of government that we know today, right? These systems did not exist prior to the beginning of ancient Egypt. And what we call money, taxation, government, capitalism, all of that started in Egypt. And if you're an American, take you $1 out your pocket, you'll see a pyramid on there. Pull out your money, you'll see Egyptian symbolism on our money. So the Egyptians they were the first people to put their face on a coin. Like when you look at quarters and nickels and all that, the first people to have this system was Egypt. And of course, we know the Babylonians had it, and a lot of more people. But the Bible told the Christians or the saints, come out of her, my people. What was the Bible saying? The Bible was telling people to go off grid and get out of these nations that are partaking in systems of capitalism, because the end goal of all that is the mark of the beast, AI, digital government, and these these systems that we see coming on the earth now. Shout out to Gentile Giant Records. Appreciate the love. Yeah, appreciate the love, Gentile. There was no such thing as rich and poor. What you had was community. Like what the tribes got. Who's the rich one or the poor one in the tribe? Because you see, their class system ain't based upon putting people in different classes because of how much money you make. In a tribe, you get put in different classes and ranks based upon how much you contribute into the tribe. Simple. The chief contributes the most. The chief, the one who gonna die. If an invader come to take over the tribe and the land, guess what they gonna say? Show me your chief. And they gonna kill him, and they gonna have everyone else be slaves. the chief gonna pay the biggest price. You see, just like in a gang, the OG, the leaders of the gang, gonna get hit with the most time in a RICO case. So with his title comes he gotta risk a lot for that title. So in a tribe, people respect the chief for that. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't about where the chief got more money than everybody. You know, like how we see Birdman and Jay-Z and all them. No, that's a whole nother system that's foreign to the law of the land. If you was literally living on the land outside of these systems, you would know what true power is. But see, it's community-based. But that's why they hate the word communism. They've redefined what communism is when communism come from the word community. It come from the word community. So, you know, in America, they are anti-communist, right? We don't like communism. But they redefine. They've said, well, communists have a problem against the free system of capitalism. And guess what? Communists really got a problem against world conquest and domination and fiat government systems that are rigged to keep certain people at the top and certain people at the bottom. And the original ideology of communism was based upon everyone in the community being treated equally. But in a capitalistic system, they say equality and justice for all, but that gets compromised if I show up with millions of dollars because I can pay for the police. Ain't nobody gonna be treated equal in a system of capitalism when the billionaires can pay their way out of everything. Come on now, you compromise equality right there. It's an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron that you ain't gonna get the same treatment that a rich kid gonna get in the court of law. So if you black and you innocent and you broke, you might have to take a plea deal, even if you didn't do the crime, because you can't afford no Johnny Cochran. That's right. And Benny Crump ain't always stepping in for everybody. He just one man. So good luck trying to sue a big corporation or trying to get justice because it costs. Capitalism itself compromises the concept of equality. This system cannot work this system cannot manifest its promises because it's flawed. It's based upon its flawed design. It's based upon its flawed design. There's no way that the system of capitalism could ever manifest equality and justice for all once you bring money into the equation. Let me show y'all how this works, right? Let's say all of us friends, we homies. We all young, we play basketball together. We been kicking it. We joke on each other. And you know, we fight sometime, but we get back cool because we grew up together, right? Now, everybody see within your friendships and your group here, ain't no hierarchy. We just all friends. Let's say one of the friends got a basketball goal. Then that's how you had a little hierarchy. We wanted to go shoot at his goal, little shit like that. He got a trampoline at his house, so he's the cooler friend, right? So we get to jump at you feel me? Little shit like that, you develop a hierarchy, but it then determine how much respect you had for each other as a kid. I want you to think about this, meaning that you still joked on that friend, smacked him on the back of the head, and played all the games everyone else played, even though he had the trampoline or the basketball goal, meaning that, you know, you cool for having that, but you still gonna get treated equally among the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Now, what happens when we grow up and one of them friends become a multi-millionaire? That's when the respect level change, just like the situation that's happening with the famous streamer DDG, to where his group is breaking up because they said he got the most money and is making his head big, is making his head arrogant. Basically, like when they was broke, everybody was humble and treating each other with respect. And when one friend got all the money, he started letting niggas know, I got more money than you, nigga. Put some respect on my name. I got more money than you. So it's something about money that means you need to bow down to me now, nigga. Now, hold on now. I know we all grew up together and we friends, but I'm Birdman of the group. I got the biggest, you niggas got to kiss my ring now. So this is how you get the concept of a royal family or a dynasty, which goes back to Egypt, what I was saying. People worship the royal families. They kneel to them. They bowed to them. It was a idolatry-based form of government, and you see what it is today with Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is the symbol of wealth, the symbol of capitalism, and he's a tyrant. This was the same energy that created ancient Egypt, and guess what happened to Egypt? It fell. This is the same energy that created Babylon, and guess what happened to the Babylonians? They fell. The same energy that created America, and guess what's happening to America? You right. It's falling.
If you had billions of dollars, would you want to end your life?
See, the Egyptians were seeking immortality because they were so rich. So think about this. If you were a pharaoh, would you really want to die? Earth is your heaven. So if someone came to you and said, listen, pharaoh, your higher self is better than this version of you, pharaoh. There's another you in a higher realm where we're all peaceful and there's love and it's a higher realm up there. It's called heaven, pharaoh. See, you would have to think, though. You would have to think, though, right, that, you know, that person wouldn't be interested in ascending because they found their paradise in heaven right here on earth, is what I'm saying. So they would try everything to look for a way to stay here as long as they can. And that's why the pharaohs had the science of immortality, how to cheat death, how to stay alive forever. Alive where? In the earth realm, meaning that the pharaoh didn't want to ascend. He wanted to anchor himself and stay within the earth realm. And even if you read about Jesus Christ is a demigod that never ascended up to heaven. He ascended up to this first layer of the atmosphere because Jesus is another form of the demiurge. And Jesus can't go to the highest heaven, which is why Jesus establishes a kingdom on earth in the end called the Kingdom of Zion, which is being led by the small hats right now. And while we're at the brink of AI and we have so much artificial, we're at the brink of World War III. And AI is going to be a big part of that war. It's going to be more of a cyber and digital battle for people likenesses and identities than really bombs and conflict. Because it ain't going to be a lot of bombs and shooting. It's going to be biological diseases and biohacks, identity hacks. And it's going to lead to where it's going to kind of force you to get the mark of the beast because you can't get treated with certain medicine without the new digital ID systems, the new everything that they about to implement. So when they start coming with the next pandemic, people ain't going to even be able to get treated like that without these new identification systems. They already talking about it. So, but all of this tie into the prosperity gospel because that's the gospel that keeps us believing in this capitalistic system. And how does it do that? Because the people that would be pushing back and standing up against this rigged, flawed capitalistic system where the rich get rich and the poor get poor, they got puppets to tell us the reason you poor It's because God made you poor. It ain't because the system of capitalism is flawed. It's because you hate to pay your bills. And why did Creflo Dollar tell his people why they was broke? Because they hate to tithe. They hate the tithe. Yeah. Don't you know, if you was going to a casino and you kept complaining about losing and never hitting the jackpot, guess what the owner of the casino would tell you? You're not gambling enough. Why wouldn't I tell you that? As the owner of the casino, I'm not going to tell you my casino ain't made for you to win. Why the fuck would I be the owner of the casino? People keep losing, and I'm telling them, hey man, y'all losing because my casino ain't made for you to win. It's just a fucking idea we selling in Vegas. You just don't come here hitting jackpots. How else will we make money, man? Right? So if the casino owner told them the truth, he wouldn't get no business. So the casino owner got to create a doctrine on why people keep losing in his casino. Even though he promising them that you can hit the jackpot here. Everyone get you can you know how the casinos sell it to you. And that's America. America telling you everyone can have the American dream. Everyone gonna hit the jackpot in my casino. And people keep coming and they're losing their money. And guess what the casino owner's telling us? You're not spending enough. And the people who buying into this system the most is profiting the least. Don't that sound like a pyramid scheme? See, this is the truth of why the pyramid is on your money. Because it represents the shape of government. The government is a huge pyramid scheme. Money is a debt system that keeps the people at the top rich and the people at the bottom who they print the shit for, the debt slaves. That's right. And you're only making enough money to pay your bills. So when someone say that the universe is restricting your money because your attitude about paying debts that the universe didn't even intend for you to have, I gotta challenge that and let you know the universe restricting your money because the system ain't built for a person to win who got their spirit activated. Look at all the most wealthy people and powerful people in this world. They're gangsters and fucking killers and war generals and, you know, rich families and shit. Hollywood people and the Disneys of the world and the fucking Epsteins. You know. You got to understand that the universe didn't intend for Soulja Boy to have more money than Martin Luther King. You got to just question the logic of that. Right? Because you would have to tell Dr. Martin Luther King, hey, Dr. King, it's your attitude toward the system. You keep pushing back at this system. And you keep complaining about paying bills and what the white man doing. That's why you broke, Dr. King. And that's why Soulja Boy balling. Because Soulja Boy got this attitude of he don't care about spending money. Splurge it up. Fuck this money. This is what's being taught. See what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, the universe ain't that harsh and cruel, and it ain't favoring Soulja Boy over Dr. King on a financial level. What's happening is the universe is giving everyone what's truly in their heart. And if a person really, truly loves this system, truly, they gonna make it to the top of it because they're gonna be willing to do things you ain't willing to do. Now, you can start using your imagination with that. We all know how things work in Hollywood and the music industry. It ain't just all about your talent. Now, let me just be quiet. If you in the know, then you know what I'm talking about, right? But if you really hungry and you want it, then just like all of the black actors say about Will Smith and what he compromised to get above all of them. We ain't gonna go into that, the roles he took, the rumors. But the thing is this: making it to the top of capitalism, you got to understand that all of these industries are monopolized by mafia, mob type corporate entities, and once you get affiliated and contracted with these corporations, it's like being part of a mafia organization. Like, speaking bad on this organization can cost you your life, but you sign into this, boom, they done laced you up with all this money. You're basically owned by this entity. So it's contracted in a capitalistic system. Most of the money that you're getting as far as when you operating hundreds of millions, $1 billion, you talking contracting. So like Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. He has a monopoly on what? Government contracts. So we're going to talk more about this in a minute, because when we really talk about getting wealthy in these real wealth, Elon type wealth, that's where that statement come in. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. Because guess what? It's so many young black geniuses that know everything Elon know and more. It's a black teenager boy making gas out of plastic, and they ain't even talking about that. That'll change the whole world right there. But it'll make a lot of people broke though. You see what I'm saying? But so that goes to show it ain't what you know, because it's a lot of young geniuses out there, man. Drop a one if you know it. It's a lot of young kids thinking outside the box, coming with all kind of crazy technology that's really helpful to the world, though. That's really solving problems, and they ain't getting no publicity. They promoting the same tech bros, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. They don't want no one else shaping reality with technology but them, because that's where the real power at. It's in terraforming the earth. So why can't these young kids make it to the top? Even though they got these beautiful ideas, they good people, like Moses West, awesome black man, made a machine that can basically pour water out of thin air. You don't even hear about this man. He should be taught in every science class. That's right. You giving these boys Galileo and Newton, a bunch of dummies. You talking about Isaac Newton and a bunch of Freemasons. And you ain't even talking about the black man that created one of the most important inventions of our time. Because when you see how the water about to get in the future, you will see why Moses West was a messiah who ain't even getting talked about. So you say, well, why? Okay, so these people ain't lazy. They ain't stupid. They ain't around here complaining about paying their bills, but they still being held back, just like Nikola Tesla. All that genius in him, and he died broke in a cheap New York hotel. Why? Because he hate to pay his bills, the universe restricting his money because he don't tithe enough. That's why God ain't blessing him, Creflo. You see, I want us to re-examine the reality around us and redirect that energy back toward the rigged system that we in called capitalism. And anything else is a deflection, and it's part of the agenda of reselling us capitalism all over again in an age of Aquarius, where people are starting to wake up and see the tricks of the devil in this flawed system, which is flawed on purpose. That's right. It's flawed on purpose. And people waking up to that. It's been revolutions and revolts all over the world throughout history in these systems that we born in. That's why they can't stand, because the people eventually wake the fuck up when the generational wealth gap start getting so big. People say, "Huh, wait a minute. Every damn year we working harder and harder. We making less and less money, and items are costing more, while shrinkflation is true too. So the candy bar ain't even as big as it used to be, but they charging double for it now, and we making less." Right? So the nutritional value in the food gone down. So now we paying more for genetically modified food that's shrunk in size, because you used to get a big ass them potatoes, a bag of potatoes back in the day. Food was bigger. It was more nutritious. It lacks nutrition. They cutting corners with ingredients. They shrinking the size of it and giving you more packaging. And then they triple it in the price in your time. See, this system is made. In a system like that, how you ever gonna get to where Trump at? How you ever gonna get to where Soldier? Most of y'all ain't gonna get to where Soldier Boy at. You will never get to a level of just the first, what they call hood rich. Hood rich. Most of you will never get there. It's just the nature of the system. Don't beat yourself up. When you know what's going on, we're going to start beating this system up and rising up against it. That's right. It's like a broken snack machine. You keep putting your money in that thing, but ain't nothing coming out. And if enough people don't complain about the broken snack machine, why would the owner fix it? He getting free money and he keeping his product. That's right. See, when you work in an office building, you will know that. If you ever watch these vendors, because I used to do security in a big building, I used to watch the vendor come in there and change the money out, get his coins. Man, how much money you make with them machines? They go all around the city getting the money out, they little bubble gum machines and little snack machines. They make good money, man. And you just go around getting the money out of these machines. And people, you know, and I was talking to the man like, so people just let you put your machine in there for free? He was like, yeah, because you offering them a vending service. Oh, and he was schooling me, you know, how easy it is to do it. But make a long story short though, I noticed something. If you got a broken vending machine in the office and people just bang on it, but they don't make no complaints to the owner, they don't call the number and make enough complaints, because it got to be more than one person complain, then the owner ain't going to even fix that shit. He ain't going to even put out of order on it or nothing. He just going to let people keep. Why? Because he's profiting more. When he go and collect money from that machine, he noticing that he don't gotta even fill it up with new product like that, but he making the same amount of money, keeping most of his product, because a lot of people ain't getting their shit out and they saying, fuck it. A lot of people put their dollars in the machine, they didn't get their product, but they be like, oh, well, okay, it ain't a big deal, so they don't complain. That's what we do about government in America. We buy into this system of government. We don't get what's promised to us, but we have oh, well, you know, I'm just going to vote for the lesser evil. They all grimy and shiesty. That's just hey, business as usual. You know, and then when people start complaining, you say, well, they bitching. They got a negative attitude. The universe don't restrict their money because they bitching about everything. They complaining about bills, inflation. So the machine will never get fixed. That's how it works. So who profits from a broken vending machine? The owner of that machine. So the system of government is broken. It is flawed. And the people are saying we trying to fix it. But that's the owner of a broken vending machine. While you're trying to fix it, you profiting more from the problem. You're profiting more while it's broken, which is why it's taking you so damn long to fix it, man. I mean, think about it. We created brain-computer interfaces before we solved the problem of inequality in a capitalistic system, y'all. Let that sink in. People gonna be uploading their consciousness out of their body in 10 years, and we still ain't gonna be able to solve the inequality problems in this country. That's right! Science and technology is going into sci-fi movie type innovations, but we still having a hard time fixing the system of capitalism and world hunger and homelessness and inequality in the justice system. But yet we put the mind of a damn rat inside of a computer 5 years ago. It's something ain't adding up, y'all.
And start all over again with nothing. If you got billions of dollars, you're looking for a way to cheat death. You're thinking to yourself, man, if life after death means reincarnation and a whole nother earth, a whole nother parallel reality where I got to start all over again, that is a rich man's worst nightmare. That's his worst thought to have. It is a nightmare for a rich man to think about, one day I gotta die. Because in his mind, he's saying, I'm gonna have to start all over. When you tell the universe what you want and you put that desire in your heart, the universe will start to send all of the things your way to help manifest that. So if you told the universe that you want to go to heaven, don't be surprised if the universe ain't showering you with luxury and cars and mansions.
Facts. I mean, I gotta try to make sense of why certain people are rich and certain people are poor. And I'm not buying what Creflo Dollar's saying, and I'm not buying what Nero's saying. I come with my theory. If the universe is involved in our financial lives, then the only thing that makes sense to me is the people that's suffering the most is actually the most spiritually rich, the most spiritually wealthy. That's right. Shout out to Sally McDermott. Thank you once again for your love.
Because the universe know what you want. You want to ascend. And to ascend, you got to be light. It's just like being at the bottom of the ocean.
So basically what happened is a lot of woke folks will tell the universe, I want to make it to heaven. I want to make it into the ancestral realms, the pleroma, the platonic realm. A lot of you woke folks, you've put in your heart, you've put out there in the universe, you've planted that seed in the universe that when I die, the hell with this place. Let me ascend to my next reality and focus on my next mission, because I don't have no attachments to this place, because it's just, why would I be attached to the first grade if I'm a student? Once I get out of the first grade, hey man, put me in the second grade, then the third. I ain't attached to none of these grades. It's just a place to learn and evolve and move on. So if that's what you're telling the universe, hey, send me to my next higher, better, greater experience beyond here, then guess what the universe gonna start doing? Stripping you of all this material stuff. Because once you tell the universe that, the universe saying, okay, you want to get out of here? Let me make you light then, because you're going to have to take all this stuff off the rise up. You got on all these chains, all this jewelry, all this, man, take all that off. The universe going to strip you naked so you can ascend. And that's what Jesus was trying to tell the rich man about the kingdom of heaven. When you build your kingdom or your heaven on earth, why would you want to even ascend? That's even true for me too. If I was a multi-billionaire living in paradise right here on earth, this is my heaven. That's true. And that's why I'm not really, I'm saying once this system was created, it changed everything, because a lot of people start finding heaven right here on earth, just like the pharaohs did. That's what Satan did. He built this kingdom on earth. So that's only possible in the system of capitalism, where you have rich versus poor. Because if everyone is a king, ain't nobody a king. And how you gonna have a kingdom if everybody kings? Right? So in the system of capitalism, there must be some poor people. It gotta be, just by the way the system is built. But this system promises everyone wealth when it knows it needs poor people. In order to define what rich is, you gotta have down in order to have up. Boy and girl, rich. If you're gonna have a system of rich people, how do we know who rich? Based upon, look at the poor people over there. You have to create a lower standard of living and a whole nother template and tax bracket for a certain group of people to live in to distinguish these classes to begin with. And that's what they did in Egypt and Babylon. Before that, you didn't have that. It was just a world full of humans and everybody was equal. No one had ownership of the apple tree, the orange tree. It was an unspoken rule that, you know, of course, you couldn't just destroy this place. Like, for example, you couldn't pause in the water. You couldn't cut down the apple tree because other people want to eat off of it. The concept of ownership is new, y'all. You got to realize that when the colonizer came in contact with the first tribes, he had to teach them what ownership was, what contracts was, what a trust was, what a loan was. You must realize that our ancestors did not create the system of capitalism. They had a whole nother spiritual system based upon natural law and sovereignty, which is where the whole concept of equality and justice for all come from. Our ancestors, the people who spewing that, talking about equality and justice for all, they don't even deliver that. So you know they stole that from our ancestors, because the systems of government that our ancestors had literally had systems that made everyone equal. And how did it do it? Because we didn't give you no props because you was rich. There was no such thing as rich. It was how much are you contributing to the tribe, and it wasn't no money. It could have been, it was basically agriculture. You planting seeds in the field and harvesting that and feeding your tribe. You being a good, maybe you can work with stones, then you can help use a good builder. It was your natural talents. You had architects. You had agriculturists, botanists. You had your weed men making the best damn shit to smoke to get us high with. You had your musicians. They was contributing their music to the tribe. You had everybody contributed something to the tribe to make life a luxurious experience. So everybody was rich because everybody can enjoy all of the resources that's produced by the tribe. You didn't have to go buy it from the store. It ain't like this costs $10,000 and that right there is $100 and the rich can afford this, but the poor can't. No, it was a universal economic system where everyone in the tribe had access to everything in the tribe equally. Equally, a communal based system. In that sense, you're not separated by who had what, right? He got all that and he got all that. Now that's rich and poor. That didn't exist in the systems of government that we had.
You can't ascend with a bunch of stuff attached to you. You got to let that stuff go so you can ascend. We are saying to ascend with a bunch of stuff. You got to be light. because the universe know what you want. You want to ascend. And to ascend, you got to be light. It's just like being at the bottom of the ocean. You can't.
Let's say you inside of a video game, a simulation, and your body and all of your possessions are your gamer, are part of your gamer avatar. Like when you play a game, you have an avatar in the game, and all of your possessions in the game, it don't belong to the real you. It belongs to your avatar in the game. So if you playing Grand Theft Auto, the real you don't own none of that, but your avatar in the game does. So that'll make a lot of people don't want to, not want to stop playing the game if they're attached to the possessions that not even theirs, but only owned by their avatar, and they can't take it with them when they leave the game. Like what you said, you can't take none of that with you when you die, because this shit's a simulation, and this money is just reflecting how much you earned in the game. Now watch this, right? Here go the crazy thing about when you tell the universe you ready to leave the game, the universe started stripping off your gamer suit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the universe started detaching the player from the gamer's avatar. And when that happens, you will detach from all of the possessions that your avatar got. So that means even if you have a, let's say a nice house, nice car that you really love, your woke self would say, fuck all that. I'm more in love with spiritual enlightenment. So it ain't saying that you can't have nice things. That ain't what it's saying. It's saying that people who get woke is gonna start to invest all of their energy and time into self-mastery, basically, right? And when you do that, you're gonna have less time to quote unquote chase dollars or be a bag chaser, because in the capitalistic system, when you talking about accruing wealth, you really gotta dedicate your life to it. Like, for example, Donald Trump, Sam Walton, like it's a lifelong endeavor, and even you pass it on. You don't just pass the wealth on to your children. You pass the burden of maintaining the family wealth through the family business in this monopoly game. But you know, you do have a lot of monks, Buddhas, and all them that are dedicating their life to like self-mastery. And you ask yourself, like, do they pass a lot of wealth down to their kids? Actually, what their kids inherit is temples and temple systems. They are, and they don't say, well, let me keep the family business of wealth going, right? We sell chicken or whatever, right? They will keep a system, a spiritual system going. And people actually contribute to the temple with donations and offerings, not money. So back in the day, the concept of tithing or giving offerings to the temple, it was because the temple was a communal-based spiritual system, but it was the spiritual system it was the spiritual aspect of our system that dealt with the welfare of everyone in the community. So basically, what you call capitalism is based upon people profit, or the bottom line, right? But in the ancient temple systems, which where we get tithing from, because the church was basically the head of the community. It was different. It's been corrupted today. But what the church was handling was that all of the access in the tribe. So if you had everyone in the tribe contributed to the tribe. So if you had an apple tree, orange tree, whatever you was doing, or whatever you harvested, it was all accessible and contributed to the tribe as a whole. No man worked for himself as an individual. Everything you did was for the community. So what happened was all of the access and surplus harvest was placed in the church. So it wasn't that people, it was like tithing to the church or giving offerings to priests. They was storing the access in the community, in the church, and people who would lack or visitors came or anything. The church was basically what they call a storehouse, and it's still referred to as a storehouse today. They call it the storehouse of the Lord, but before that, it was just the storehouse of the land. Anyone of the land could access the surplus harvest, so no one went without, right? So the concept of the church feeding the homeless and all that is very old, but we know the church make that optional today. But the very reason why the church was created in the past was for that. It wasn't optional. That was your very reason for existing. But now the church is a for-profit organization where pastors are making billions of dollars in offerings that go directly to them and not the poor, not the poor. So the synagogue of Satan have corrupted the ancient temple system that we use to make sure poverty never existed. And the fact that you have a poverty epidemic in a Christian nation is a hypocrisy when Jesus fed everybody. Come on now.
Can't ascend with a bunch of stuff attached to you. You got to let that stuff go so you can ascend. We are seeing the prosperity gospel infiltrate the Hotep and conscious community in the form of black economics. And just like the prosperity preacher is telling you, yeah, the devil run this world. The devil is the ruler of money, wealth, and all that. But the prosperity preacher will still tell his congregation the reason you ain't got money is because some kind of way you ain't in God's favor, and it's something that you need to do. You know, I'm going to tell you something. My grandmother...
Did that go over your head? In the black conscious community, you got some called the Black Economic Literate Movement, where you have a lot of black nationalists. These are the same people that tell you how much of a devil the white man is. They tell you how flawed his system is. Devils run the world. The white man is a devil. His colonial system gonna fall, right? They teach you all that, but then they tell you, if you come take my black economic class, you can get rich. So you making the white man this big boogeyman that's keeping everybody down, right? But you can overcome that devil for just $19.99 at my free course. You see what I'm saying? So it's double talking, because what Creflo would do, Creflo would tell you, yeah, the devil run this world. Satan, the Bible will tell you that too, that the devil is free right now for 1,000 years. We in the time of the devil, the beast roaming free on the earth, as they say. And the pastors agree to that the world is evil, the devil is busy, and all that, right? They'll tell you that the devil run this world, the devil run the people in power, the devil run everything. But then they'll tell their congregation the reason that you broke is because God keeping you broke. But they just told you that the devil is in control of all the money, the leaders, the finances in this world. You don't see the double talk? So the devil in charge of all the money, but you can still get rich if you find favor with God.
Then die rich. God's favor was still ruler of money, wealth, and all that. But the prosperity preacher will still tell his congregation the reason you ain't got money is because some kind of way you ain't in God. Because the universe know what you want. You want to ascend. And to ascend, you got to be light. It's just like being at the bottom of the ocean. You can't ascend with a bunch of stuff attached to you. You got to let that stuff go so you can ascend. We are seeing the prosperity gospel infiltrate the hotep and conscious community in the form of black economics. And just like the prosperity preacher is telling you, yeah, the devil run this world. The devil is the ruler of money, wealth, and all that. But the prosperity preacher will still tell his congregation the reason you ain't got money is because some kind of way you ain't in God's favor and it's something that you need to do. You know, I'm going to tell you something. My grandmother didn't die rich, but she was a very righteous woman. So I can't go for that doctrine. I can't go for a doctrine that tells a person the reason you're not wealthy is because some kind of way you're not in favor with God or you don't have the right mentality. I've seen people.
Now, when they tell you that, people gonna say, how the hell is 21 Savage, Drake, Nicki Minaj found more favor with God than me? How did Soulja Boy get the right mentality that aligned him for the blessings of God, but Malcolm X didn't? See, when you start asking them questions, then they say, well, you don't think like the rich people. See, the whole thing about thinking like the rich people. What if Malcolm X was thinking like Soulja Boy? Right? What if Dr. Martin Luther King, right, was thinking like Jay-Z? We wouldn't have no examples of good leadership, right? Because you would only have good examples of capitalists. And a capitalist ain't necessarily a good leader, which is why I'm telling you Donald Trump gonna lead America in the ground. Because he's one of the biggest capitalists in the biggest leadership position. That's a recipe for disaster. But when you talk about leading on truth and righteousness, capitalism compromises equality, righteousness, justice, all that. It's just a big lie.
People in church with beautiful minds, sweet people, righteous people will give you the clothes off their back to help you. But the prosperity preacher is saying that's not the mind you need to prosper. They are bringing the capitalistic mind state into the church, into the conscious communities, and they're.
See, this is TD Jakes did a lecture called "Are You Thinking Like the Rich or Struck Like the Poor?" Yeah, think about that. Let that. TD Jakes did a lecture called "Are You Thinking Like the Rich or Struck Like the Poor?" Now, TD Jakes ain't saying, "Are you thinking like Jesus Christ? Or are you thinking like the devil?" They turned thinking like Jesus to thinking like the rich people. And they turned to thinking like the devil to thinking like broke motherfuckers. You see, they've made broke the new evil and rich the new good. Drop a one if y'all see that. They even tell you, stay away from people in poverty because they got negative energy. And this is why the rich look down on Ethiopians, Africans, people from like third world countries. They kind of look at them as if you got the cooties, like, don't touch me type energy, that bougie rich stuff. But it ain't that something wrong with the people. It's you ain't in my tax bracket. It's a very separative energy, right? So Think about what the pastors are telling you. In order for you to get rich, you got to think like the rich. Why can't you think like Jesus and get rich? I'm going to ask that again, Christians. TD Jakes know you can't have the mind of Christ and get rich. So what did he tell you? You got to have the mind of Donald Trump. And this is what Nero teach too. You got to think like rich people. See, you got to brainwash yourself to have the mind of a capitalist to get to the higher echelons in the world. You see what I'm saying? And that's true. They ain't lying to you. They telling you the truth. If you want to get where Jay-Z at, you got to understand what is this. See, it's a universal mindset that every rich person got. And guess what that boils down to? What are you willing to sacrifice? You may think it's a bunch of hard work. And yeah, you're right. You got to be talented. You got to work hard. But along with that, you got to be willing to sell yourself, because ain't nobody making you a billionaire if they don't own you. They giving you that billion so that they can have ownership over you. Anyone telling you anything different, they don't understand how capitalism work. It is still modern day slavery. McDonald's ain't even giving you them little pennies every week without showing some form of ownership over you, if it ain't nothing but for those 8 hours. If you in the NFL, that team, that owner, you're owned by contract of that team. If you breach the contract and jeopardize the ownership, then you know what I'm saying, you be broke out of your contract, out of your career. You know, it's simple, but it's the whole thing is this. Is when it comes down to employment and getting wealth in America, it's about employers and employees, which is the modern terms for slave and slave master. You cannot have your own mind if you want to move up in corporate America. You got to develop the mind of a corporate capitalist. You can't go up on Wall Street thinking like a doggone spiritual monk. You ain't gonna make no money. You need to develop the mind of a wolf, the mind of a bull. You need to get cutthroat. You gotta become evilly strategic. You're playing Monopoly. This ain't a game of goddamn ring around the rosy here. When you're playing Monopoly, the goal is to bankrupt the people around you. You want to own the board. So what do you got to develop the mindset of an evil genius? I got to develop the mindset of a hustler, a grinder. And we're forced to develop that mindset if you born in a capitalistic system and you want to get what's called rich. Show me a rich person, I'll show you that mindset. So rich is a mindset, and they not lying to you. But it reveals what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot have your own way of thinking if you want to be rich and powerful. You got to forfeit free thought. Because once you get under that contract and these people give you all that money and put you in that position, you just can't do what the hell you want to do. And it's going to be very hard for you to operate in that space if you don't change your mindset and go on ahead and get on board with a mafioso, a gang way of thinking and embrace this shit. Once you embrace it, you can go ahead and move in it and start to, rise up in it, But you can't come into this thing with your same mind, though. You got to leave that at home. So you'll see that a lot of people that blew up, whether it be in the music industry, wherever, people from their town would tell you, man, he changed a lot. Boom, boom, they'll have and for a long time, I used to think that they just hating on rich people. But they actually telling you the truth. Once a person get in a certain tax bracket, that person have handlers. and they're not as approachable as they used to be, and they can't be in certain places where they, which is expected too, you know, because look at what happened to Nipsey Hussle. He should have had handlers, right? Nipsey Hussle is a result of you saying that you gonna be rich and be independent, thinking on your own and doing what you want to do. You see how far that got Nipsey Hussle. See how far that got Tupac, right? You got to bow down and be controlled in this shit, like what Snoop Dogg did. And look at how far his career went. Why? Because Snoop Dogg, he bowed down to the system, right? So you got to think like the rich, and the rich people think like, hey, everyone in the rich communities have a hierarchy. Everyone know that you bow down to the man with the most money. When you start getting your money up and you move in these rich communities, you're going to realize that the mayor, the senator, and all them ain't got no power. When you get on that golf course with all them rich men, you're going to see who calling the shots in that city. And you're going to see who all the people who in certain tax brackets respect the most. It is the rich and the powerful, not the people that went to school to become and now they work in politics with their state job, they're a mayor. Them people ain't got no power, they puppets. So you understand there's a hierarchy in the world, and the false thing is that the hierarchy is based upon education. The most educated Americans are making the most money. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. The people who are connected the most with the cabal in any said industry is making the most in that industry. And it ain't just because they got the most talent or education or that they the most athletic in the case of sports. Shit, Lil Bron is showing y'all that.
Re-injecting us with this consumer mind state when we're trying to escape it, when we're trying to ascend. But if you made up your mind that Earth is not your home.
And if you want another example of what I'm saying, Donald Trump is a prime example. You think he the most educated and qualified person to be president in America right now? Hell no. It's people that went to school for years for politics, studying governing systems. People that literally got degrees in politics who better qualified to be president than Trump, y'all. We know that. And we know that Trump operates on a very immature level and that he ain't the smartest. But he can be president of the United States. Why? Look at how powerful his family is. Look at how powerful Trump is. Look at how much leverage Trump got as an American corporate entity. This is a monopoly game, bro. So even though the president's seat is a puppet position and there's levels of wealth, Trump being in that seat is just showing you that, hey, being a president in America don't mean working hard and getting a good education. Because that's what we telling kids. Hey, one day you can be president. Just keep going to school and learning and working hard. Hell no, Trump didn't do none of that. What the hell? Let's tell these kids the truth and tell them the shortcuts. If you really cared about these kids and you wanted them to move up in America, guess what you would tell them? Listen, son, it ain't just about working hard. You got to work 10 times harder, first of all, right? Not only do you got to work hard, but you may want to consider getting in a fraternity, joining a sorority, maybe becoming a Freemason. Hey, maybe you should become a Knights Templar or something. See, this is when you care about the children and you want to tell them the truth. because that old slave shit, just work hard and get a good education. That is not how you move up in America. That's a damn lie. That is not how you move up in a country founded by damn Freemasons. Why do you think we say it ain't what you know or what you do, but it's who you know? You gotta you gotta network, man. You got to know the right people. You can't sit right there where you at and just think you gonna get the bag. You got to go and get in these rooms with these people, man. You got to really put yourself in the fold with the pushers and movers in your city, which means joining a Masonic lodge. Consider becoming a Kappa. Maybe you're an Alpha type brother. See, and now you telling these kids the truth. What are you willing to sell, son, for wealth? And if you tell it to them, they know that right out the gate before the devil even have a chance to taint that shit. And we should, hey, this is what it is. This is the nation we born in. Because you can be talented, son, and you can be qualified. But if the next man is talented just like you and he's qualified and both of y'all equal, how is the man, who's going to get the job? Well, what if the boss is a Freemason and that brother is a Freemason? Well, who you think going to get the job? Now, both of y'all equally qualified. Even if the manager is not a Freemason, it's taught that certain people take precedence, like veterans, Freemasons, Kappa members, Alpha members. If you got 10 people and they all equally qualified, and I got to hire one of them, and I don't know which one to hire because all of them got the same equal credentials, but I find out, hey, this young brother right here, he's a Kappa. I'm going to hire him because it's taught that he has more discipline. If he made it through the law, if he was able enough to become a Kappa, it shows more discipline. Or if he's a Mason, or if he's an ex-military member, right? He's gonna be. So even though y'all all equally qualified, that'll be the little edge that make him go and get it. That's why people join these alumni organizations. They become Masons and all that. It literally gives you a one-up on people, but you can't say that because nepotism is anti-constitutional. But we know that it's rampant in capitalism. Shout out to Dan Tanner. Salutes right back to you, man.
You don't get comfortable in someone else's house. All of the things that would make your life comfortable, the luxury cars, the mansions, all of that stuff that will make you comfortable here, it's the very reason why you don't have it. Because the universe don't want you comfortable. Why? You told the universe you don't want to stay here. You want to go to heaven. And you will never leave this place if you're just comfy. I never want to leave a place that I'm comfortable in. The universe know that too. And it's not going to let you get too comfortable because you told it you want to leave this place. So why build up attachments here? You got to ask yourself, this is where you want to build your kingdom at? Look around at this world and ask yourself, do I want to settle here spiritually? This is my home? Do I want to build my kingdom here? If the answer yes, then go out there and prosper, conquer the world. If the answer is no, conquer yourself, master your mind. Because they're trying to distract the righteous souls from leaving here. And I'm telling you that the prosperity gospel is necessary to get humanity to the next level of the New World Order agenda. So you will see it infiltrate a lot of communities. You will hear a lot of hoteppers and conscious guys say stuff like, if you want to be rich, you got to think rich. That you can start bringing wealth into your life by changing your mindset And simply, if you think a certain way, then you'll start attracting wealth. A bunch of bull crap. For you to think like the wealthy, which is what a lot of Hotepers teaching y'all, there's a lot of emerging conscious people that are teaching capitalism and
now everybody knows sad guru is compromised. Now there's a lot, that's why I said about the prosperity doctrine, it infiltrated the woke community years ago. And you had people in the conscious community, in the woke community, talking all kind of crap about Creflo Dollar and Joel Osteen, but they was listening to sad guru talking about manifestation and having the mindset of the rich, right? So you had these psyops going on, and people didn't have any kind of self-awareness, because when you in the conscious community and the woke community, you just think we better than everybody, and you gotta humble yourself, man. The only reason you in the woke and conscious community is because you know that religion is BS. That don't mean you know everything. Just because you found out religion was a scam, now you saying you woke, but you still acting like a Christian though. That's right. And you don't even see it. And then the woke people be bougie as hell, which is why I can kick it with Christians more than I can kick it with woke folks. That's right. I'm telling you, bro, because woke folks think they just figured out the secrets of the damn universe. It ain't nothing else you can tell them. And see, when they was over there sucking off sad guru, they was talking crap about the prosperity movement, didn't even know that they had the same psyop ran in their community. But just because they leaders wasn't calling it prosperity, they was calling it manifestation. You see what I'm saying? So they over there sucking up all the manifestation videos and point fingers at the Christians who listening to Creflo Dollar and don't see that they hypocrites. Don't see that it's the same doctrine.
Prosperity in the form of some sort of awakening, some sort of spiritual trick that you can do to sort of your life by changing your mindset. And simply, if you think a certain way, then you'll start attracting wealth. A bunch of bull crap. For you to think like the wealthy, which is what a lot of Hotepers teaching y'all, there's a lot of emerging conscious people that are teaching capitalism and prosperity in the form of some sort of awakening, some sort of spiritual trick that you can do to sort of cheat reality and manifest all this abundance and wealth. The truth is, the reason most of us ain't got wealth is because most of us are righteous souls who ask the universe to lead us up out of here. If you ask the universe to lead you out of this place, and if you got the desire to ascend up to the highest heavens, that's why the universe ain't giving you all of this wealth and luxury. It's looking out for you. It knows that these things will trap you here, will make you comfortable. You got a lot of people in the conscious community, they got the gold unks on, they got on diamonds, and they looking all conscious and hotepping. But they are just prosperity pastors with the same capitalistic doctrine to usher in the new world order on society. And they have to get this message into all of these different schools of thought. If you think the reason that you don't have money is because you're not thinking like a rich man, you don't have the mindset of a rich man, like they said, a rich man can go broke and you can get his money all back because he think like a rich man. If you're in the conscious community and you care about your soul ascending to heaven, don't never follow anyone's advice that's telling you to think like a rich man, because a rich man thinks like an evil man. If you could tap into the mentality of a Elon Musk, a Goldman and Sachs, a Monsanto, in this conscious community, Many of us have worked so hard to abandon the rich man's mentality. We was trying to think like rich men, which led us to doing anything and everything for money, because that's what rich people do. Wealthy people in the world are always thinking, what can I do for another bag? What's my next check coming from? Who can I rip off? Whose land can I destroy? Who can I indoctrinate? How many more prisons can I build? How many more teenagers' minds I can corrupt in my prison system to make sure I get all this wealth? What they're telling you to do is de-evolve spiritually so that you can come up physically. And you're moving backwards as a spiritual being, taking their advice. So if you're listening to these channels that's still trying to teach you wealth and prosperity, when the universe is trying to unteach you all that, you need to unsubscribe from them. They're going to be the cause of your reincarnation. Your focus should not be on thinking like rich people. It should simply be on becoming a better person. And guess what? The more of a better person you become, the more content you will be with life without all the fancy stuff.
That's right. And not only that, the moment y'all get focused on bettering yourself as a person, that's when wealth gonna find you. Because the law of attraction in this system is based in this capitalist system. In my opinion, how it works is this. People got to find self-worth in you before they give you $1. It don't matter what the hell you do. You gonna get rich doing it once you do you, because can't nobody else do you like you can do you. For example, Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar rich as hell. Even though he's a scammer and a grifter, people feel like, I want to give this man my money. What make them feel like that? Because Creflo Dollar mastered himself. He knew consciously, I want to be a crooked ass preacher to get billions of money out of people who stupid. And he worked on himself. He became what he envisioned. He said, I got to learn how to talk right. I got to, get me some good, nice, decent suits, tailored suits. I got to go ahead and manifest this version of me that I see in my mind that's going to take me to my next transitional shift of where I'm trying to be. And if Creflo said, look, I want to be one of the richest pastors in the world, so I got to come with a game, a scam, or something that no one else got. Prosperity, boom, right? He one of the founding fathers of the prosperity doctrine, right? Once it started working for Creflo, he started giving the game to others. So look, the thing is this. It still takes self-mastery, even to be a damn grifter, a scammer. So when the righteous people see the evil people making money and they're not, it's because you listening to them and they trying to tell you, this is what you need to do to get a money blessing. Splash this oil across your doorstep 10 times and drink some goat's blood. Whatever they tell you to manifest wealth, whatever kind of sorcery, whatever kind of mindset, is bullshit. Because all of them people manifested their wealth by tapping into who they are as an individual. People just like them, man, as a person. They would have gave that money to Creflo even if he was a comedian. If he worked on that and said, look, I want to be a fire comedian doing shows, he would have then manifested that. Anything gonna take working on yourself. But see, all of these little prosperity doctrines is like giving y'all a cheat code, a get rich quick sort of cheat code, and it's a scam and a gimmick. Because you can't trick people out of giving you their money. They got to find self-worth in you. So you can pray all day, right? You can do as many money blessings as you want. You can have any mindset you want. But if people around you don't find worth in you, them the people who gonna be giving you the money, right? Because people acting like God giving them the money or the universe giving them the money. No, brother, them brothers and sisters that's right around you gonna be the people making you rich. That's right. So you got to give them something valuable. But no one's teaching how to bring self-value, for you to offer people something that's actually means something to them. See, that's what I try to do with my content. When you say, man, fuck looking for a way to rip people off, fuck looking for a way to get rich quick, fuck looking for a way to get some money blessing ritual with an incense burning, whatever. Fuck this whole, let me develop the mindset of the rich. Let me start thinking like the rich. Forget all that. Guess what you need to do? Go your ass in your room and dive deep inside of yourself and ask, who am I? What do I want to contribute to the people? And will the people benefit from my contribution? That's how we used to think in our tribal mindset. Everybody in the tribe got to go and do some self-discovery away from the tribe. And they got to have some self-time and say, look, who the hell am I? How can I benefit my people? How can I benefit my tribe more? How can I make myself more valuable to my tribe, to my people? You got to go do that in some own self-discovery to make yourself better independently and come back and be your benefit and of some of value to your people. That's where wealth is. People gonna buy into that, and they ain't gonna feel like they being ripped off. Because whatever it is in you, can't nobody offer it to us but you. Quick, because it ain't no get rich quick scheme. If you look, like I said, even Soulja Boy, Nicki Minaj, they can tell you, you gotta grind, and you gotta do this and work hard and get an education, kids. But how are they rich right now? Because they tapped into their own individual personality. People like who Cardi B is. People like who Nicki Minaj is. Soulja Boy got a fan base. They like his energy. These people are tapped into who they are. You call it swag. And most of y'all, see, my thing is most of y'all ain't tapped into your universal frequency. And you ain't gotta be good. You can be an evil motherfucker. But if you offering your own unique resonant energy, however you offering it, right? You're gonna have a following of people that like vibrate with you. It's just universal math. That's the law of attraction. But see, they're giving y'all a new age law of attraction, which is just directly telling you to attract money versus attract people around you. Because who spend money, y'all? Money don't just fall out the sky from the universe. And that's how they teaching the law of attraction. They teaching y'all, if you do this, money gonna come in your life. Or the pastor is saying, if you do this, God gonna bless you. Man, you need to develop relationships with people. Because that's where the money come from, individuals. God ain't get made no rich nigga rich. Look at Creflo Dollar money. Did it come from God or the people? Everybody giving y'all the broke man's motherfucking knowledge. And I'm telling you how to really think like the rich. All of these folks telling you gotta think like the rich. You ain't gotta compromise who you are. If you look at all the rich people, they all still got individual personality. Even Donald Trump got that. And because of that, people like Trump. They like him so much, they don't give a fuck that he suck as a president because they just like who Trump is as a person. When you tap into your own individual universal frequency, you're going to draw your own unique community around you. It's magnetism. It's a law, bro. It's a law. And it's so easy to do that right now in the age of social media. But what are y'all doing? Y'all online getting scammed by people who telling you how to manifest prosperity doctrines when you should be online giving putting your energy out there in the universe, man. That's right. That's when you're going to get your wealth.
You got a bunch of people with luxury cars, mansions, fancy stuff. They're committing suicide. You think these people are happier than you. But Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. It's not around you in the form of material. The best mindset is waking up every day saying, how can I become a better person? Not how can I get richer? Because that's the rich man's mentality. So a lot of black people think they escaped the prosperity gospel because they're not in the church, but they're still getting the prosperity gospel in the conscious and hotep community. I hope this video is a warning and it's something that's going to sink in your spirit and just make you reflect. And that's pretty much it. You guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Peace and much love. For years, black.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This video that I just was reviewing, it was a video I uploaded, but I had made it private. So, I think what I will be doing is go ahead and making this video public, right? Do y'all, and we can make this video public, and we'll link the link to this stream with this video, and we'll just have them both up as a pair. So that's it for this whole spiel. But if you guys would like to extend the show, we can do that. Drop a 1 if y'all would like to do that, and we can get a goal going. And I'll set up the phone line. So drop a 1 if y'all would like to extend the show and allow people to call in one at a time. There won't be an open panel. It'll be one at a time. And what it is, I'll set up a goal for show extensions. And people can send in $2, $3, whatever, to extend the show extension donations. And we'll extend the show. Let me go ahead and hold on. Let me put this thing up here. All right, I'm trying to set the goal up. Let me refresh this and try it again. And let me set up the phone lines. Do y'all want to extend the show? Don't go nowhere, people. Stay here, hit the like button, share button, and we're going to actually get some call-ins going. Let's open this call line up. Hold on, y'all. I'm opening up the call line for one caller at a time. I'm about to post the link to the Zoom right now, actually. Here it is right here, guys. Bam. It's a Zoom call. Click the link and come on up one caller at a time. And let me try to set this goal up again. Link is out there, y'all. The link is out there. Shout out to Mama. I'm shy, or I would call. I think a lot of people be shy, but I don't know why. Cause y'all, if y'all ever called in to the radio station in your city, it's kind of the same thing, but it actually is just more people who more familiar with you because you see them in the chat room all the time and all that. So it ain't a bunch of strangers in your city, right? So this ought to be easier than the radio. If you guys are nervous, I'm just telling you something that ought to make you not nervous. You won't be on camera. This is not a on camera call in show today, right? So you don't have to cam up. And there you go. People will only hear your voice. So I don't know now why you would be shy. There you go. A lot of people putting, I'm shy. Well, yeah, you're not going to be on camera. Only your voice going to be heard. And your voice can't be worse than mine. I got a very unique, weird voice. So we going to wait around and see if we can get some shy people on this call with y'all shy selves. Well, you know, I tell you what, folks, I'm not going to just prolong the show for no reason. I don't know if we're going to, well, I just opened up the call. Let me give them a little bit more time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and shut this one down though, because I want to edit this and take out all the air pockets and all that. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because I don't think we're gonna get too many people calling in. I mean, it was just a good teaching. It's really nothing to call in about, you know. I came up here and laid the smack down. But salutes to everybody. I will make that video public. Or I may make it members only because I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't put up any recent members only content. So the video that we just reviewed with this stream, either you can just watch it through this stream, or if you want to watch just that full video without me commenting on it, then yeah, you can become a member. I'm gonna make that video members only because I haven't done any uploads for my members in a while, and I appreciate y'all. But we do got a caller, y'all. Stand by. Talk to him. First caller. Thank you for joining, man.
All right, what's up, brother Brandon? It's been a minute, but check it out. I got a question for you. Have you heard of it ain't got nothing to do with the show, but I mean kind of sort of, but have you heard of the NASA 1207 document? Have you heard of that?
No, but I'm gonna write it down right now.
What I'm saying, bro, I mean, it's something to kind of look into. Because the only thing I'm trying to say is, right, when I look into it, it talks about a linear aircraft, but the terrain that it describes that the aircraft is flying over. Cause all you got to do, bro, if you could, go to Google and just go to NASA 1207. You will see a document, you will see a PDF, and this is a legit NASA document because it's nasa.gov. And when you see it, tap onto that PDF. When you go to that PDF, go to page 7, and look at that first 2 sentences of that summary, bro, and look what they say. It's crazy. I mean, we know they deceive and lie, but I'm just showing you how, like, why would they say that if they didn't know the truth?
Okay, you right. I'm a definitely check that out for sure.
All right.
So, yeah.
But you know, that's the only reason why I came up, bro. Peace to you.
Appreciate that. I wrote it down. I got a stream coming up about NASA on a different topic with 3i Atlas. So on that stream, I'll just bring that up and have that be a part of that.
Okay,
So,
bet.
yeah,
That's what's up. Appreciate
for
you.
sure. You got it. Appreciate you.
So.
So that we can know that you ain't a troll, Feezy. Can I get a mic check? Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you for joining, Feezy. You the second caller. I'm gonna turn the flow over to you now.
I just had a hot question. I'm gonna get off. I know you were saying we can't take nothing with us when we leave here, and I was just wondering, does that count for like music and stuff? Like, cause I be doing beats and stuff, and I was just wondering, like, would that have to stay here too? Like, I'm
Well,
pretty sure it would,
I'm
but I just
glad.
wanted your take on it.
I'm glad that you asked that so I can clarify. When we say
Okay.
you can't take nothing with you when you die, that's mainly talking about material possessions. So a song ain't a physical object. So things of that nature, like sound, like Tesla said, think in terms of sound, vibration, energy. All of that is information, experience. We take that with us, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom, maturity. So in your next incarnation, all of that experience you gain from this life gonna go into your next body. And you just gonna keep getting better and better, man. So facts though, we do take some with us now. Facts though, Feezy.
Okay, appreciate that. And then that was really it, man. Salute to you, everything. I'm about to cash app you or super chat and shit. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, appreciate you, Feezy, and appreciate that dope question. I'm gonna expound on it some more while you get off, because that was a fire question. It allowed me to clarify. Appreciate that, brother, man. Because when we say you can't take none of this stuff with you when you die, that ain't 100% true. We that's just in the context of dealing with material possessions. So good point, man. Like that need to be specified. Let me go to the next caller. What's good to my next caller? Can I get a mic check to you from you? Present mic check from you. Oh yeah, I can hear you. How you doing? You our third call. Appreciate you for calling in, man.
Yes, sir. I just want to say, I'm doing all right, man. I'm maintaining, bro. I'm here. I just tune in, bro, because when I'm hearing myself play back, I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Turn your YouTube video off and just talk to me through the phone call.
All right, am I clear now?
There you go. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say thank you, man, because I'm the type of person where when I hop online, I like to watch something or listen to something that I'm gonna get something from. And I hear the way that you talk. I listen to a lot of your information, and the way that you break it down is needed, bro. It's necessary, and it's to a point now. Like I hear a lot of things that you say. Like when you say you rather kick it with the Christians than kick it with the woke folks, because people, change their attitude. They get bougie. They get this, that, and the third. And I appreciate how simple you are, man. I think that we as people and individuals we got to be more, just have more courage about ourselves. We got to be more assertive, you know, about just life, period. Because like when a person commented and said that they were nervous to call in, that's a real thing. Like sometimes I be nervous, but right now I'm on the call right now. So it's like sometimes we could be nervous, or our nerves could stop us from doing something that, you know, the Most High or God or whatever you want to say would want you to do. It could be something as simple as calling somebody that you love or doing something a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And I think that a lot of times we get nervous, and that's, to me, that's the devil. Like, not, you know, not to be superstitious, but that anxiety or those nerves could be against yourself when you could use it to go in the right direction. You know, so I just wanted to say, if anybody got something that they feel they need to say, or anybody got something that they feel in their heart they need to do, be courageous and do it, man. You never know what your voice would do. You never know what your energy, how it's going to affect this whole thing, how it's going to affect your whole life by just, you know, doing that. Because we be so quick to do something. We'll be quick to do something wrong or do something just typical, but then be afraid to do something that could change the whole world. And I don't think that is okay. I think that we should not be afraid. I feel that we should be more courageous, man. And when you jump out there and you do something courageous, it shows the next person, hey, man, there's no need to be afraid. There's no need to be nervous, man. Jump out here.
That's big facts right there, man. That's big facts. The whole thing about today's show, why I think it's probably beneficial to people, because there needs to be a legitimate explanation for why certain people are at the top and certain people are at the bottom. But the explanations, that the narratives we've been sold from people in power is like a victim blame type shit, versus us looking at the flaws in the system that's designed to make the rich rich and poor poor. So these people don't realize how big agents they are for this satanic system when they teaching manifestation, prosperity, and all that. They really doing a direct work of the devil. Some of them know what they doing. Some of them don't. They just see, hey, this will get me views. But I really appreciate your call, man. We've been having some dope calls, and you gave me a lot of encouragement too, man. And I humbly appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate that.
No problem, bro. And to speak on what you just said, I seen the video that you did on Nero, and I feel like that was necessary as well, because it's like the blind leading the blind. If nobody, if we don't check each other, you know, what are we really doing? It's not a real community. That's just people following one another once again. And you could mistake somebody like that brother for a person who really coming like you, and you're coming in real time. And what he's doing is, like you said, it's like it's the same shit that we get in, excuse my language, but it's the same thing that we get in wrapped up in a different package that looks better for people who are quote unquote woke. But at the end of the day, when you open it up, it's nothing of substance in that. So I just appreciate what you're doing, man. I'm always gonna tune in.
I appreciate that, bro. I'm gonna look for you in the chat room, man. So I can mod y'all up. Peace and love to you, my brother. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yes, sir. Peace and love.
Sure. We got one more caller, y'all. But the link is still out there if anybody else want to join. We've been getting some very good callers, man. Good energy, good words. The vibes is just priceless right now, for sure. El Payeso, what up, my brother? How you doing? Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you, brother. It's very surreal to be here. I'm one of those that always wanted to join, but was too shy or have this fear, or this is me overcoming this basically because of your words, what you shared, and what you expressed and mirrored. Okay, brother, I just wanted
Hell yeah.
to. So yesterday, man, the thing is, I got censored on Twitter before talking about the. I was going hard on small hats, but it's supposed to be a free speech platform, and you see the algorithm is already, it's everywhere. So it was with no warning, just instant permanent ban, no reason. And I appealed it, but I appealed it while being triggered in the moment. So it wasn't a very good appeal professional. So I don't know if I'll get the Twitter back, but uh so I'm a
That's fucked up.
creator like you, and I more serve in the shadows, or I'm in the shadows serving the light. I mean, uh you're in my creations, brother. You inspire me so many. I'm inspired by. My creations are, I listen to interviews, audiobooks, lectures, uh, just videos, and whatever I resonate with, I compile them and sync them into one. I put music in the background. I put visuals from movies or TV shows, music videos, animations. It's symbolic. And for me, whatever I'm going through, when I create, it gets alchemized as a message for me. It gets synchronized. But whatever I'm going through in the moment, and then when the creation is complete, it's like a sync. It's just beyond words, but I get to share it with all. And it's not like I create every day, every week. Uh, don't have many videos, but you're in them. So many. Uh, Archaic, Jason from Archaicism, Santos Bonacci, Divine Being, uh, Michael Desarion. So many, so many. I can't name them off the top of my head. But yeah, man, thank you for being you, and know that you inspire me and you inspire all. So keep doing what you're doing, keep being you, keep being true. Thank you.
I thank you so much, El Payoso. This was powerful. And it's good that you the
Brother,
last
brother,
caller.
brother, brother.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you. Uh, El Payaso Ali. I had to. I had
It's
to.
fine. Thank you. El
Thank
Payaso.
you.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna end it right there, y'all. This was the last caller. Salutes to all of the callers and to all of you. I'm gonna end the Zoom right now. Much love to y'all. And let me just end with my outro here. Why do I call it the woke consumer age? It's because when everyone start waking up and fighting against the capitalist system, you're gonna have a lot of agents rising up saying woke don't mean broke. It ain't that something is wrong with the capitalist system. It's something wrong with your mindset. You don't think like a capitalist. You don't think like the rich people in the world. And now they want y'all to abandon your anti-establishment mindset to think pro-establishment, which is what the rich people are doing, who's selling us out to the corporations and all that. Shout out to Rob. Much love, Rob. Said today's discussion was on point. Salute the Bro Sanchez. Thank you, Rob. Shout out to Focus Willis. Thank you for everything as well, Focus Willis. Shout out to D. Allen Warren for the love of flat power. Yeah, for sure, man. Flat power. And shout out to Mama once again. Maybe one day you'll call in, Mama. Some of y'all gonna overpower that shyness. And I won't put you on camera. But salutes to y'all. If you ever get the urge to call in, don't let shyness stop you, guys. Shout out to Dantana. Salute right back to you, Dantana. Mama said you should talk to people one-on-one for $20 for like 15 minutes. Well, I used to have a way for people to book me through Calendly, but I discontinued that because I wasn't getting booked a lot because I'm online so much, giving out this stuff for free that, you know, if I wanted to really get booked, then I would have to kind of not give my stuff out for free so much with all this content, but I can't do that. So the booking ain't gonna work for a person like me. That may be work for somebody like Charleston White, but yeah, or maybe somebody else, but maybe I'll bring it back eventually if people want it, because I did get a couple of bookings though. But and salutes to those people. Thank y'all once again for everyone who super chatted. Sally McDermott, Gentle Giant Records, Isaac Frimpong, Rogue Knowledge, and my brother Iron Work. Shout out to all of y'all. See y'all on the next one. Peace.